The position of Black Americans in the early 1950s. Since 1876, Jim Crow laws legally separated Black and white Americans, deeming Black Americans as separate but equal. Black people could be evicted, fined, or arrested for using toilets, building entrances, or bus seats reserved for white people. Many schools, hospitals, and prisons were also segregated. Segregation was seen all over the US, but was most prevalent in southern states. Segregation made it easier to discriminate against Black Americans. They had fewer opportunities and were often forced to work as sharecroppers, where families rented a small plot of land in exchange for a portion of their crop, or in a domestic service, which were both poorly paid jobs. Black Americans could legally vote, but it was difficult for them to exercise this right. This is because in most states you had to pass a literacy test to register to vote, and Black people were often given a more difficult test. Many white voters relied on the grandfather clause, which allowed them to fail the test and still register if they could prove their grandfathers had been registered. People also had to pay a poll tax, which was often too expensive for Black Americans who could only get low-paying jobs. Racial inequality was also deeply entrenched in social attitudes, and white people often believed Black people were inferior to them. Many white Americans would use disrespectful language towards Black Americans, and often called adults boy or girl and refused to shake their hands.